It's been a long, hard, vicious, brutal, trying road. Not only the last.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest and new
Acknowledge us.
All right. Hey, how we doing, guys? We here at the Red Carpet Ring. We'll talk about the surprise truth about Raw mistakes nobody tell you. We'll talk about what went right with Raw. What went wrong with Raw first. Then we'll go over what could have been right with Raw. So you guys get the likes up. We're going to definitely talk about it. We'll talk about everything that happened on Monday Night Raw for the episode of December 16th. So let's tune into that. And of course, how you guys do, I always have you guys do.
Not real.
Trust me.
But that doesn't do anything, man.
Do what he had to do. He there. But definitely a good highlight of this match. Definitely good. Let's see. Is Braun injured? I don't think if it is, I don't, the most is he hurt. I don't think he's injured. I didn't hear anything about it. I hope not. I don't think he's hurt though. I don't believe so. I could be. I didn't read any reports that he was hurt. Injured, or he has to take time off, anything like that. But no, I don't think he's. I know they was working on the shoulder during the match, but I don't think he's really hurt. So I don't think so. He did look kind of. He did made it look like he was down, but I think he's good though. Braun's good. I think he's solid. CeeLo, salute to you. Thanks for coming out. Simone, you said, what's the deal with Cody? Cody is a storyline out with a cervical injury. No, to help tell the story with Kevin Owens. He's just out. I don't know how long that'll be, but he's good though. But yes, that Braun Breaker is still the Intercontinental champion. So that is the end of that particular match. Let's continue on to the next match of the show or segment. All right, we had actually a dual thing here. We had the whole Liv Morgan promo. So we had that going on. So Liv Morgan cut a promo. She talked about how she's still the greatest women's world champion ever. We also heard about Dominic was still starting to get his heat back like he had before. We know that he was, to me, my opinion, he wasn't getting that much heat like he was in the past. But now he's starting to get that momentum back. It seemed like he was down. The fans that was not dealing with him. But anyway, Liv Morgan, she's going to talk about how she, of course, she's still champion at Saturday Night's Main Event. And she's going to go into the promo some more. Then Rhea Ripley interrupted. She revealed that she's tired of the feud going on between herself and Liv Morgan, which been going on for literally the better half of this year. She said that Adam Pearce has made it official. He set up a match, and Rhea Ripley is the number one contender for the women's world title. Number one contender, like that's a big shocker. And they're going to have the match for the women's world title. And she called Dom a chicken tender. That was funny. Great. It was funny though. But I know after that was it. And Rhea Ripley left the ring. And she wants her women's world title back. But other than that though, that was the promo. She, like I said, made fun of that. But after that, they had to get on to the match. And that match was the Women's Intercontinental title tournament, which Raquel Rodriguez was a part of. It was her, King Carter, and Zoe Stark. This is the match right here. So we had these three going on for triple threat. Kaden Carter looked impressive. I like that one spot where she spinned out the ring. She did a dive, but it was a spinning motion. I think that was great. Raquel Rodriguez used her power and her size to her advantage to shut it down. But you know what? Despite all those efforts, it just was not good enough. Zoe Stark did everything she could. She shut it down. I know Rodriguez had King Carter. She set up for a Tejada bomb. Then Zoe Stark came out of nowhere. She had the missile drop kick, and she had the G360, and she had an upset win. Not my most favorite match of the night. I like the spot with Kaden Carter. This match seemed kind of uncoordinated, kind of sloppy, and it was a shocking. But at least it ended in a shocking win for Zoe Stark to advance in the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. At least we got that. That's a good thing, So we glad that's going on because we know that the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament, we know that is still going on, and at some point, you're gonna have to have a winner. So at least that's a good thing. I will say that we already have 3 women going to the semifinals of the tournament. We have that going on. So that's going on. And we had Lyra Valkyria, we had Dakota Kai, and now for the third person we do have, which is Zoe Stark. And a shocking win. I'll give it that. It's a shocking win, but at least it was something unexpected. And this is the updated bracket of the tournament for Intercontinental Women's Title Tournament. So this is the updated bracket. Dakota Kai advanced first, then Lyra Valkyria last week, so we start advanced. So next week, more likely the next match that will happen for the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament, Alba Fire, Kairi Sane, Natalya. Hopefully Natalya gets the win. If Kairi or Alba Fire gets that, I'll not be happy. But that is the that's how that's gonna go down. So, but congratulations to Zoe Stark advancing in the tournament. Congratulations to her. Glad she was able to advance in the tournament. She has not got a singles win in forever. But let's move on to the next part of the show. We have some segments here. We have one segment here. Drew McIntyre. We know he had a segment. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on. All right. These 7 villains always start to win it all. I'm not so sure about that one, but we'll see. We had Drew McIntyre. He came to the back. Him and Seth had a segment. Now, they had a segment here, and they were talking about how Drew has issues with the bloodline, just like Seth does. They want to take care of the bloodline. He can't do it alone. Seth Rollins said, you know what, Drew, I have my issues with Roman. I helped take down his power at WrestleMania. But at the end of the day, when I did take down the power, the men that were standing by my side were Sami Zayn, Jay Uso. He said those are his friends. Those are his friends. He does not consider Drew McIntyre a friend, however. He said just because we have common enemies does not automatically make us friends. And he said, if you excuse me, I'm gonna do something you couldn't do, mocking Drew, taking an insult to Drew. Was I'm gonna take care of CM Punk. And Drew nodded his said, okay. And that's not gonna end too well with Seth Rollins. Not too well at all. But it was definitely a very good segment to see on Monday Night Raw. Very good segment to see. Definitely gonna see what the next move is going to be. as far as that goes. Then we're going to see what the next move is going to be. It's going to be solid. We will see what happens next on the show as far as that goes. That was one of the. Like I said, it's going to be important, and I think Drew and Seth is going to eventually team up with each other. Hear me out, because they have common enemies, and Seth, he wants to be a one-man wrecking crew, but he knows, just like Drew knows, you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. There's no way you can. Not even if you wanted to. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So since it's not going to happen, you're going to have to get some help. And I think when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to Seth Rollins trying to get help from Drew McIntyre. And I think Drew's is going to turn it down, say it's not going to happen. I don't see that happening at all. At least I don't see it happening at all. It don't make any sense to do that. It don't. But we're going to see what happens next with the whole Drew and Seth, because they're going to revisit this whole thing. Mark my words on that. Definitely mark my words on that particular thing. And these two are definitely going to cross paths again. And they may even be rivals more than trying to take a common enemy out. Both of these guys had issue with Bloodline for the longest. So we will see how that's going to go. But it's definitely interesting to see how they're going to book this, how this whole thing, how this ordeal is going to factor everything. At least that's how I see the whole thing going down. Other than that, though, guys, that was one segment of the show. Before we get to the main event, another part of the show, if you guys remember too, New Day, they got kicked out of locker room because of the way the WWE, everyone in WWE is still upset with what they did to. They're still upset what they did to Big E a couple weeks ago. They tried going to the locker room. Rey Mysterio came out. He said, "You know what? Due to what, it's probably best you don't go in there." Everybody in WWE has an issue with you two mainly. They think it's going to be a problem. And Rey Mysterio was just trying to save face, saying, "Hey, it's probably best you don't go in the locker room. Do not go in there." And Rey's standing his ground on this one. Don't know if he want to go exactly against a New Day, because the way New Day has been on. So it's just one Rey. But Rey, he got his LWO and all that. Don't get me wrong. But I will say that this is really putting a lot of heat on the New Day. It's making them look good as the newfound heel characters that they are. So I think that's very good too. And I can't wait to see what next feud they're going to be in. Tag team battle. I think that way it's going to go. It's going to be New Day feuding with the LWO. It could be Rey Mysterio or Cruz or the other guy from LWO, or Rey Mysterio and not Cruz. What's the Del Toro? One of those guys plus Rey Mysterio. So I think that's how that whole thing will go. But definitely we're going to see what the next move going to be for the New Day. And of course, as they head off to, this new character, like I said before. So with that being said, let's get on to the main event of the show. And yes, we have the whole World Tag Team Championship being defended. And we got JD McDonough and Finn Balor, the reigning champions who barely ever defended belts. They're going against War Raiders. And this match here was very good. As you know that despite their large size, the War Raiders can go. And also, too, it showed that they controlled the pace throughout the match. They stopped a lot of near falls, but War Raiders started near falls too. Ivar broke with the pinfall, or Finn Balor when he hit the Coupe de Gras. But the turning point in the match, however, was when Damian Priest interfered when Finn Balor was trying to get a chair. He stopped Finn from grabbing the chair. and that was no good. So when he did that, it was a distraction. And next thing you know, we got the War Raiders. They took advantage of that, and they hit the War Machine on Finn Balor to get the pinfall and get the victory and win and become the new World Tag Team Champions for Monday Night Raw for the Tag Team Division. So that's what it came down to at the end of the day. I'm glad that this was a very good call by WWE. Many people, including myself, were tired of the Judgment Day never defend their championships. We were tired of New Day just hoarding the belts. And any if they was not defending as much, there was still no proper storyline. We didn't see it. We didn't see it at all. At least I didn't see it. And I thought it was just terrible of how these guys were just hoarding these belts, man. So at least we'll get a tag team. If WWE books it, please book these guys to defend these belts. Not every single week, but just enough. Because New Day only defended belts 3 times in 76 days, whatever. But with winners and new champions, we got the War Raiders become tag team champions. With that being said, War Raiders finally captured tag team gold for the first time in 5 years. So they won that, and we gotta give them a super chant for that.
Need to leave. Yes, we believe in Joe Hendry. Suck it. Woo! What? Yeah.
Congratulations to the War Raiders. And they got their name back too a few weeks ago. It was War Viking Raiders. I'm glad they War Raiders again. Their original name is NXT. So congratulations to them. I'm glad they was able to capture the tag team gold. They end a 175-day reign of the tag team champions, who only defended 3 times. So we'll see what happens next with the Finn Balor in the Judgment Day, or him and or JD McDonough. Whatever the way it goes, we know that the reign is officially over. So thank goodness for that. I'm so glad for that. I'm glad they're not going to run with that no more. See what you guys have to say about this whole Raw. Muhammad said Rhea Ripley Raw, Netflix new. Raw was one of the best I've seen in a while. Yeah, I'm going to get to it right now, Samoan. Drew vs. Roman with a babyface Roman is going to be epic. Yeah, Roman's not really a babyface. He's still a heel because remember, Samoan, Roman never apologized for how he was as a heel. He never officially apologized to Jay, Jimmy, anyone. And that's been reminded by Seth Rollins, 2 weeks ago on Raw. And Roman said that he's still the tribal chief, so still heel tactics. It's just he's a babyface. He's a character that's still a heel, but has issues with other heels. That's the best way to put it. War Raiders deserve that. Definitely deserve it. Salute to you, good brave reaction. Yeah, but yeah, this was a very good one, guys. Very good one. And with that being said, let's get on to the review for Monday Night Raw. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? We had CM Punk and Seth Rollins cut a promo on each other, had an early brawl to kick off Monday Night Raw. We had Liv Morgan cut a promo. We had the New Day backstage, kicked out the locker room. Drew and Seth had an interaction backstage. We also had the Final Testament and Miz. They still had their thing going on. Miz supposed to have a match next week, stated by Karrion Kross. We also had 2 matches announced for Netflix episode, which I explained earlier. And we had 2 championship matches, with Intercontinental Championship being defended and retained by Braun Breaker. And also we had which was this here. So we saw him retain his title. Then we had crowned a brand new World Tag Team Champion in the War Raiders. So what do I give this rating out of 5 out of everything that happened? I would give this show a 4.5 out of 5. Very, very good Raw. Very good, compelling story. Very good way, especially we needed this Raw after a horrendous Survivor Series War Games after horrendous Saturday night's main event. We needed a good Raw for once, a real good one, not just an okay, an average, a real good one. So I'm glad that WWE, at least for those two events being mediocre, they stepped it up with a very good Raw. So I'm very happy for that. Very happy for that. Let's see. Judgment Day split up. It's pretty much coming. It's not official. It's coming. Roman kind of baby heel. He just still heel. I ain't gonna say baby heel. He just still heel because he never apologized. He said I'm still a tribal chief. We're gonna get to that in a second though. But that's my rating on the WWE Raw, guys. I thought Raw was very good. Like I said, we ain't had a good Raw like this in a minute. I can't think of a last time Raw was really solid like this. I mean, everything was consistent from A to Z. It was of course, some hiccups in between. I'm not saying that. Nothing's perfect. It's not. But it was better than it has been in most recent weeks. Like I said, we had two lousy events in Survivor Series. And again, we had that. And of course, Saturday night's main event, which I really don't really want me to get into, but at least they have something good going. At least they have something good going. I'm happy about that myself. I really am. So with that being said, guys, we're going to do here now in a second before we go get to current news. And we're also going to get into current news, and we're going to get into also what went wrong and what went right. And then we'll also get into the whole bonus round. So let's do that. Let's definitely get into that. Before we do, guys, if you guys haven't already, some of you guys I think already do this, but if you don't already, you could definitely do it now. I got it posted up on the community tab on the channel here. What you could do is, let's see what people said about this episode of Monday Night Raw, and they definitely voted. Right now, we had 63% people give it an A, B, 24% gave it a B, 9% gave it a C, 4% gave it a D or F. So you guys let me know what you think of the current episode of Monday Night Raw. With that being said, though, guys, let's get into current news. Current news. What we have going on here. This is the brand new logo for the Monday Night Raw for the Netflix debut. So this will be a new one. I don't know what to think of the logo. You know, new logo revealed. Now, you know, next week's Raw and this upcoming SmackDown is going to be taped due to the holidays. You know, Triple H give the talent a week off to spend time with their families, you know, for the holiday season, for Christmas. So with that being said, some stuff was pre-taped. That was taped. That was been online since yesterday. They have the WWE Raw logo. That's the logo that they're going to have for Raw when we have the Netflix episode starting on January 6th. But I don't know, guys. This logo looks kind of similar to the Ruthless Aggression logo. Kind of similar. You see how the R always to the R to the right. They got it slanted. It's kind of slanted. It's kind of similar to that, maybe. It's not a bad logo. We kind of see something similar to this before. Anytime WWE, as we know now, go to a new network or every few years, they always change the logo. So this will be the new logo for Monday Night Raw. Definitely. 4 out of 5. B could have been a little better, but it helped to make up those P. Yeah, definitely. You say you like the other logo better. Are you talking about this logo, Samoan, or are you talking about the Ruthless Aggression logo? Talking about the old logo or the brand new one? The brand new one's not bad. It's not a bad logo. I'm not saying it's a horrible logo, and I'm pretty sure it's something we all get used to anyway. We'll say it's okay now, but or some say it's good. They will say, it's a great logo. Just have to warm up and get used to it. But they always try to get creative. That's the new logo for the show. The current logo. Yeah, I like the current logo too. I'm with you on that one. I like that too. Definitely. I like the current logo as well. You're talking about this logo you see here. And I don't think it was a problem with it, but they got to change with it. So with that being said, though, that's the current news. Let's go over what went wrong with Raw. We got to go over some things that went wrong with Raw, guys. We got to look into that. Despite a very good rating for Monday Night Raw, one of the better Raws of this year in most recent memory, we got to go over some things that I did not like about the show. We got to talk about that. That has to be definitely touched into. And this is the logo you're talking about, Simone, I'm assuming. But yeah, definitely, let's talk about it, guys. With that being said, what's the things I saw that was wrong with the Monday Night Raw episode? Let's start off by saying Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley feud. I understand the story that they're trying to tell here with this particular feud of Rhea and Liv. Liv Morgan, she is the current Women's World Champion. Rhea Ripley has held one of the longest reigns in history of that title at 380 days, tied with Bayley. However, due to an injury storyline with a shoulder by Liv Morgan, she was forced to vacate the Women's World title. And that's what Rhea did. She vacated it, and they had to turn a battle royal, not a tournament, but battle royal, to crown a new Women's World Champion. That ended up being Becky Lynch. Then Becky Lynch, she defended the title against Liv Morgan at King and Queen of the Ring back in May. Liv Morgan, with the assist from Dominic Mysterio, end up helping Liv Morgan winning the Women's World title. And it was kind of rift between Judgment Day, Damian Priest at the time. What's your alliance to Liv Morgan? You helped to win the title. Dom said it was an accident. Then next thing we know, as Liv and Dom are getting closer and closer, Rhea comes back, and Rhea said, what's going on? And so Dom's still on Rhea's side, still with her, the whole mommy thing and all of that. And next thing we know, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have a match at SummerSlam. And Rhea Ripley, of course, won her title back. She's healed from injury. She wants to come back. So since Rhea did come back and have a title match, it looked like she was closing in into winning the Women's World title again. However, Dominic Mysterio grabbed the chair. Rhea grabbed the chair from him, caused distraction. Liv Morgan hit the Oblivion on Rhea on top of the chair. And we know that Dominic Mysterio, kissed Liv, and he betrayed Rhea. They even got so bad they called him a super heel. Went from heel to super heel, which I never heard. He was already getting heat. So Liv Morgan got her revenge tour. She got the revenge tour and all that. And every championship match that Liv has to defend her title, she always gets help from Dominic Mysterio. And then when Rhea Ripley did get another opportunity at Bad Blood with Dominic Mysterio in the Shark Tank, this when Raquel Rodriguez returned, she attacked Rhea Ripley and helped Liv Morgan retain her belt. So she has fought Liv twice for this championship already. And now with Rhea saying that it's official by Adam Pearce, they will have one last feud. And I'm saying all of that to say this. After everything Rhea Ripley went through, everything I mentioned, it will only make sense for her to regain the Women's World Champion to tell the proper story. If she goes through all of this trouble, every time she fights Liv for the belt, it's always help from Judgment Day, Dom or Raquel, whoever. She does all that to lose the match and Liv, skating on by. If she loses again against Liv Morgan for the third time, this is not going to make the story any good. It's going to make it sour. And you guys know what happens when I see things that are sour. I hope that's not where they're going with the storyline, but you never know.
What's going to happen? No. Words? You just made the list.
Like I said, I don't want to see any more Rhea versus Liv. This went all the way back to, like I said, when Rhea had to vacate the title, and that was this early spring, right before the summer started. And now we're into the winter in December. So this was going on long enough. I know Rhea was out for 3 months, but the story, even when Rhea came back, it continued on. Even when Rhea wasn't there, they were still mentioning her from time to time. So it has to end. Samoa said Rhea and Liv got to end, so it's getting worse than Cody's title reign. You know what, Samoan? You got a point. That's undisputed what you just said.
And that is undisputed.
Very true. They have to end this story. I'm tired of it. Now I know Liv has a little feud with Becky Lynch. She just defended against Io Sky. She had another match. Who else she did defend that belt against? She defended the belt against a few other people. Selena Vega, Io, and Becky. But Liv, we gotta end this feud. And deep down, let's be honest, Rhea Ripley can beat you. And that's why, and Liv knows that. That's why Liv always got to get someone like Dom or Raquel to help her cheat so she could retain the title. And I have not told a lie on that yet.
I'm tired of being nice. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
So that's the truth on that whole subject. So that's one thing I saw wrong with Monday Night Raw. So let's go to the next part that I saw wrong this episode. Let's get on to it. Next thing I saw wrong. They never fully said Drew McIntyre attacked Jay Uso. But remember it was Jay Uso attacked first, then Sami Zayn on a couple of weeks. He was attacked the week after that. Then, of course, Jimmy Uso on this recent episode of Friday Night SmackDown. We know Drew attacked both Sami and Jimmy. He did not attack Jay. He never said he attacked Jay. And when he defeated Sami Zayn at Saturday Night's Main Event, he said 1 down, 4 to go. Are they going to acknowledge the whole who attacked Jay Uso? And they still have not acknowledged that yet of who attacked them. That's kind of irritating. Now, we know Drew more likely did it because Sami Zayn really thought Seth Rollins did it, and Seth said he did it, and he didn't do it. So if Seth didn't attack Jay, who did? Just a mystery person? And it don't make, and we know it's Drew because how can Drew attack Sami and Jay's brother Jimmy and not attack him as well? So it'll only be fitting that Drew McIntyre also attacked Jay Uso, but they still have not admitted that yet. And we know that Drew is on a run to basically get redemption against the Bloodline of anybody who helped Roman, get back to the top or help him win at Survivor Series War Games. Same issue that Seth Rollins has. But the fact they're not acknowledging that Jay Uso been attacked by Drew, or at least said who attacked them, this is no good. And I don't like this at all. And you know what happens if I don't like that?
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No, you just made the list.
Yeah, this is terrible. Acknowledge who attacked this man, please. So we can continue off the storyline. So that's another thing I did not like about this whole thing. I didn't like this at all. It didn't make no sense to me. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. So I don't know how they're going to do this, but this could be a good story with Drew McIntyre. And I'm going to get into that later. We'll definitely get into that, but something definitely has to be changed around. I'm just saying. If you're going to explain a story, explain everything. Don't just explain one part of the story. I think it's quite annoying if they don't do it right. So that's how I would see this whole scenario. It don't make sense to me at all. But that was the issue I definitely saw on this episode of Monday Night Raw. Definitely an issue I saw. Now, let's get to another part of what went wrong with Raw. WWE has too many titles, and I think they don't have them defended enough. Now, if we look here, every show on 3 brands all have a world title, and they all have secondary titles for men's and women's division. You know, the women now have the Women's North American Championship on NXT. That was the first secondary title introduced to WWE. Then we have the women's secondary championship. The second one that was introduced of a secondary title was the Women's United States title that was won by Chelsea Green at Saturday Night's Main Event. And now we have the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And I think with all these titles, they have said this, that we mock and we talk about AEW having too many titles. And I said this too. Now WWE has too many titles. And I have a feeling that they're not going to have them defended enough, even if the show's are 3 hours. Because each show has 2 titles each. If you think about Raw and SmackDown, even NXT as well, you have a men's world title, a women's world title, men's secondary championship, women's secondary championship, and men's and women's tag teams. The women's tag teams could cross brands. I'm not so concerned about that one, but they all have 5 titles. Men's have the tag team world title, secondary title. Women's have their women's world title, secondary title. That's both for Raw and SmackDown and NXT. So with that being said, you got 15 titles. If you add the women's tag team titles, that's 16. That's a lot of titles on 3 brands. And like I said, I know WWE has way more talent compared to AEW, and they are utilizing better. But these are still too many championships. And my fear with these championships, even after the women's Intercontinental Championship is crowns a new champion and an inaugural champion, I don't think WWE is going to have enough time on television to defend these titles enough, because we're starting to see it now. The world titles, you know, I know they're special for certain PLEs and TV specials, but I believe the secondary championships, and I'm talking about the men's and women's secondary championships across all 3 brands, will not be defended enough. We don't see the men's Intercontinental Championship, great. The men's United States Championship, great. The men's North American Championship, okay. But the women's North American title, the women's United States title, and the women's Intercontinental, I think WWE's going to run into a problem with those championships being defended enough on TV, and it's going to come back to bite WWE in the face. And you know what happens when I see things that bites people in the face.
What's going to happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
This is not good at all. Yeah, way too many. Way too many. Now, those are the 3 things I saw. Oh, I have one more thing that's wrong with Raw. I'm going to go to another thing I saw wrong with Raw as well. And I was just talking to Figure 4 TV about this, and he had a good point. We're going to talk about it right now. Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser challenged Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship on Raw. Now, even though he put up his best effort, he did not capture the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker has successfully defended the championship against Kaiser. With that being said, I will say that since he did do that, I believe that Braun Breaker is too much for him, and Kaiser's not on Braun Breaker's level as far as story and match-wise, and that's what lead to Braun Breaker retaining his title and not having Kaiser walk out with the title. I believe Kaiser will need some more feuds under his belt. I know he feuded against Sheamus. I know he, besides Sheamus, he really had no other major feuds. He has some one-off matches, but I think he needs at least a decent feud under his belt. Maybe one or two more besides Sheamus. And I think he could be more polished. He could go against Braun Breaker, someone of Braun Breaker's caliber, who's definitely at a very, very higher level than Kaiser. Because it's not a knock on Kaiser. Kaiser is just with him. He's always been linked to Gunther. Not only he's linked to Gunther, Kaiser was really a tag team competitor. He teamed with Giovanni Da Vinci back at, in the Imperium, when Imperium was Imperium back in NXT UK and NXT. And when he came to the main roster on SmackDown with Gunther. This is really the first time that Kaiser's been on his own as a solo act. And I don't think he's ready just yet. Kaiser has everything in him, the character, the charisma, everything going for him. The only thing he don't have going for him is the experience to be a successful solo star and to compete at a good level, to compete for the Intercontinental Championship, a championship not just held by Braun Breaker, but a championship that is holding prestige, that they put a prestige name back on. So I think with that, that's working against Kaiser right now. He looked very slow. He could not keep up with Braun Breaker very well, and it was really starting to show in this match. So with that being said, until he gets the more experience and more polished feuds, he should not be competing for the Intercontinental Championship anytime soon. So with that being said, when I saw this, how out of place he was compared to Braun, you know what happens, right?
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So yes, he made the list on that one. Now, with that being said, that's everything I saw what went wrong with Raw. New segment that I'm gonna do, brand new. I talked so much about what went wrong with Raw on NXT or SmackDown or PLE or TV special. I failed to mention what actually went right with Raw. And that's what I'm going to do now. We're going to talk about what went right with Raw, because there are some very good things that go right with these shows. We are watching WWE programming, not AEW. And that's a whole nother ball game. So with that being said, similar to what went wrong with Raw, I'm going to mention what went right with Raw. One of the things I did see them do in the direction that they're going on each show. So it's a new segment I'm going to do, something I've added on. Dom got his heat back. Definitely did. I mentioned that. And that's one of the things that did go right. So let's go over what went right with Raw. Let's jump into that, shall we? And then after that, we'll get to the bonus round and we'll talk about the previews of Netflix Raw, not Netflix CW. Think about NXT, that's going on soon, so we'll be on not too much longer. I got to cover that tomorrow. And with that being said, let's get back to what went right with Raw. Let's get into it. One thing I saw right, going the right direction, despite Finn Balor and JD McDonough losing the World Tag Team Championships on Raw. This is going to help jumpstart his solo run as a solo competitor. Of course, the Judgment Day is going to split up, but he could focus on winning the World Heavyweight Championship or WWE Championship, either or. He's going to focus on winning the world title. So him losing the tag team title with JD McDonough on Raw to the War Raiders, it definitely is a good thing for Finn Balor, because there's no way Finn Balor, who's supposed to get this push in 2025 and become a future, world champ again, he cannot do that with, having a tag team title that he barely even defended, and he's trying to go a solo route. So him losing the belts is good. I like the direction that they're going with Finn Balor. This is really going to help him a lot. So I think this is the right thing to do. This is the right call for WWE. So I like where this is going, and it's only going to get better as long as the booking go right. Like I said, Finn Balor set to get a big push in 2025. This is going to help do that. I see the direction that they're going with this. So definitely something I like. So with that being said, this is the right thing. I like where this is going. Yeet. So this is one thing I saw right with the show. Yeah, Orange was definitely hot last night in Boston. Playing off the Shield, intro was fire. Absolutely. Speaking of which, speaking of Seth Rollins, that's another thing that went right with this episode. Another thing that went right, and we're gonna get to that in a second, but I definitely like where this is going with I definitely like where this is going with the whole thing. I definitely like it. It's pretty good. So we're gonna see what else is going on with the whole Judgment Day breaking up, which they will, and also of Finn Balor as he's going to go on his journey and become a solo act, as he should. So let's not forget about that. I think it's going to be the best thing for them to do as far as that goes. See what else you had to say. Yeah, I think it's a great call for that to happen. Because if now had Finn and JD retained, somehow use some cheap, crappy way to retain, now I would have been upset, and that would have been added on the list, most definitely, no doubt about it. That would have been added onto the list because it would have made no sense at all if they had went with that route, because these guys wasn't doing anything with the belts to begin with. They wasn't doing a thing with them. So having them do that was definitely a great decision by WWE. So I like where this is going. So definitely it was a great move. I liked it. It was amazing. And it needed to be done because there was nothing else more that they could do with those tag team titles. Nothing more that they could do. Let's be honest here. What else was those guys going to do with the belts? What else was going to happen with Judgment Day? And they're not never defending it. Let's be honest here. So it didn't make no sense to me to have it done that way. It didn't. Because if you did do that, it would have messed up everything. Literally ruined the whole thing. So I'm glad that they're not doing that anymore. And I'm glad things are going in the right direction. Like I said, there was nothing more to be said as far as that goes with those two, with them defending the belts. Definitely was not. Because I think it was a great thing for them to do that. But Finn Balor, trust me, he's definitely going to be on a run. He's going to have a good run. He's definitely going to have a good run. I don't know how his run going to be categorized. I don't know how long it'll be going, but it's definitely going to be one for the ages, guys. So that's definitely something. Keep an eye out for 2025, the year of Finn. He may win the Royal Rumble or win Money in the Bank. I'm calling that right now. He may win one of those things there. That's what I would say about that as far as that goes. So we'll see what the next move going to be before that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get into another part of what I did like about Monday Night Raw. Another thing, CM Punk and Seth Rollins will finally start their feud in 2025 after being delayed to CM Punk's injury. Now, when CM Punk came back last year, him and Seth Rollins had promos, and now they're reverting back to it. Ever since then, CM Punk was injured with the torn tricep. Seth Rollins, world champ, he had the issues with going against the Bloodline, shutting down power of Roman Reigns. He helped Cody Rhodes, try to help him shut it down WrestleMania. He lost the tag match, but he did be the shield for Cody Rhodes, as he said, leading up to WrestleMania 40. He took time off. He had a minor injury, came back. And CM Punk had his feud with Drew McIntyre. They was fishing that up. CM Punk was been healed since then. I think he was cleared for SummerSlam. So he never got back to the storyline, but now we're going there. Seth Rollins and CM Punk been cutting promos for weeks on each other and on each other, going back to where CM Punk was allies by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was mad that CM Punk left the company. He goes to Seth Rollins. When he left, didn't say nothing. And of course, Seth Rollins mentioned that CM Punk always downplayed the company, wish he tore it down, et cetera, et cetera. You know, these two finally had enough of each other. They finally brought out. And now it comes to the point where these two got to have a match, as I will say in the bonus round, Seth versus CM Punk at January 6th episode of Raw Live on Netflix. But this is definitely great. I like the direction this is going. Great call. Even though I like the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, that feud had to end at some point. And I knew, and you could tell that originally, for what they said, that CM Punk and Seth Rollins were originally going to have a match at WrestleMania 40 for the world title. And that's why CM Punk referenced the world title, said, Seth, I don't need to come after you. You were world champ 6 months ago, but now you're not champ, so I'm not worried about you. So they're definitely going to have to fight over the world title at some point. Expect CM Punk and Seth Rollins to fight over the world title, and Seth Rollins will be world champion again. And we going to see how this is going to go out in 2025. But CM Punk, Seth Rollins, they could be feud of the year in 2025, just like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre has been feud for 2024. And this is something that I'm taking a liking to. Yeet. So I like where this is going with these guys. Definitely amazing. Now let's get to another part of Raw I liked. Let's get to another part in a second of what's going on. Now, I referenced this earlier. Drew McIntyre, he's coming out the Bloodline now because he has to reference back to when he feuded with Roman Reigns. And this is dated back to Bloodline in 2022. If you guys remember, this is when Drew McIntyre challenged Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship. Drew did not win due to interference from Bloodline in the debut of Solo Sikoa. So I'm glad that they're reverting back to the storyline. Drew could definitely be a menace. He's going to come after everybody in the Bloodline and expect him. He's going to need some help with Seth. If not Seth Rollins, maybe Kevin Owens, who also has issue with Bloodline, or any other ones. But I know for the most part, besides Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens all have the same issue with the Bloodline that they have for the past several years. Kevin Owens with Roman Reigns back in 2020, Drew McIntyre back in 2022, Seth Rollins back in 2022, and Randy Orton. Add that name to the hat as well. Randy Orton will also be a part of that when he does return to also have an issue with the Bloodline. I'm just saying. And like I said, with that being said, I can't wait to see how they're going to finish this story, because Drew never got his revenge on Roman, and he wants Roman at the end of the day. That's who he's coming for. He wants to fight Roman Reigns. He's going to try to get back at Roman for stopping him become champion, and the Bloodline stopping him become champion. So I like where this is going. Definitely something that I see going somewhere if it's booked correctly. Yeet. So, like I said, another good thing I see going on. So, with that being said, this is very good. Very good of where this is going. I can't wait to see how they're going to properly explain this whole thing. But expect something great to happen as far as Drew McIntyre want his redemption. He wants payback. He wants everything he can on getting revenge on Roman, because he really been trying to come at Bloodline for years, and now he gets this opportunity to do just that, and that's come at the Bloodline. So I don't blame Drew. You know, Drew got screwed years ago, and he wants to run that back, and he should run that back after everything he's done. So definitely something that we're going to see next year. So definitely. So with that being said, guys, that was another thing I saw that went right with Raw. So with that being said, We're done with that, with what went wrong and what went right. And now we're going to get into the bonus round, and we're definitely going to talk about the Raw Netflix debut episodes that they have going on. And this will be early predictions. There'll be more matches that will be explained. So let's get into that for a second, and let's talk about it. All right, we hit the bonus round, guys. We're here. We're going to talk about the Netflix episode that will be on the new Raw that will be coming for Netflix. Let's talk about it. We'll go over 2 matches. We'll go over the debut of matches that they set. First off, let's talk about Roman versus Solo. This will be over the Tribal Combat match. We know these two had a matchup against one another. It's been going on for quite some time, especially stemming from the whole Bloodline versus Bloodline. Roman returned at SummerSlam. Then it's over to Ula Falah. Now, in the tag match, Solo got a win. Roman, at Crown Jewel. Roman's team got a win over Survivor Series War Games. But now, they have to go one-on-one, and we knew it was going to come to this point where Roman Reigns returned from his hiatus after losing the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40 against Cody. He returned by attacking Solo. We knew he's still going to come to a match at some given point. Now, when it comes to Roman Reigns versus Solo, who do I have winning this match? How it makes sense? Since it's Tribal Combat, yes, we're going to know a Bloodline will try to interfere, whatever, try to cheat. But for Roman Reigns, he has a lot of fish to fry, and I mean big fish. He has so many enemies right now, like Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. He wants to regain the W title against Cody. He has a lot of enemies. And Kevin Owens, a lot of guys that's at his neck. So with that being said, Solo is the least of his worries. You don't need to worry about Solo. Unless he's going to team with Solo and they have a Bloodline formation 2.0 in the OG Bloodline, unless they're going to do something like that of that nature, or take Solo's guys like Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga and Tagaloa, Roman Reigns will win this match. He will defeat Solo. He will get the Ula Falah back. He will continue on. Like I said, the only way I see Solo on dealing with Roman if he surrender the Tribal Chief name, because it's all about the Tribal Chief versus Tribal Chief. Who gets the title of Tribal Chief? Solo will have to surrender and probably align himself with Roman. Like I said earlier, Roman Reigns has not apologized. He's still the Tribal Chief. So expect Roman Reigns to win this match. Now I'll go to the next match for WWE Raw live on Netflix January 6th. We are talking about CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Like I said, this has been going on for quite some time. These two are going to have a long-term program. I don't think it's going to be a one-off match. Seth Rollins has his animosity towards CM Punk. CM Punk has his feelings towards Seth Rollins. And these two got to have a match. Now, like I said, even though this is a big stage, it'd be the first Raw on Netflix ever. It'd be a lot of people there. It's a highly anticipated debut. Not just Roman having a match with Solo, Seth and Punk and Cena, some returns, more likely. We got to get a finish of this match. And I don't think this feud will finish at any time, on this Raw at January 6th. So expect the finish to be, I don't expect a decisive winner. I do expect a draw, count out, DQ, because there's no match stipulation on this particular match. So expect one of these 3 things to go down. They'll have a draw, they'll have a count out where they fight outside the ring, they can't be stopped, or somebody interfere, disqualification, whatever the case may be. and these two will have another match. And this is going to lead to a long-term program between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. We're looking at, maybe Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or after WrestleMania Backlash, whatever the case may be. This will be equivalent to how the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk story went down. CM Punk is not full-time with WWE. He's part-time. CM Punk, we know, just came off the tricep injury. It was cleared at this August at SummerSlam. So we really don't want to overutilize him that much. He's not going to be on Raw each week. So to extend the program, since Punk will not be full-time, and hasn't been full-time since return, they're going to extend this program. They're going to let this go on for some months. So I can expect Seth Rollins and CM Punk to feud until maybe the spring, summer of this year, maybe end somewhere there, no later than the fall. Like I said, very similar to how he ran a program with Drew McIntyre, ending that bad blood. So this will be a good one. I do not see a finish there, but they will start the feud off officially. This was going to be the beginning of the feud against this feud would end officially at Raw on Netflix. So that's how I see this going down. And I think it's going to be, like I said, one of the best feuds of the year. Definitely amazing, one of the feuds of the year. So that's where I see that going down. But other than that, though, guys, that's all I have regarding. We talked about Raw, Punk vs. Rollins, Seth Netflix debut, War Raiders win tag team titles. We talked about current news, what went wrong with Raw, what went right with Raw, bonus round, you name it. Thank you guys for coming out. I'm going to continue on watching WWE, NXT. We'll cover that tomorrow, and we'll put out some more content here. You guys keep an eye out for content and links below in the videos. Thanks again. Until then, guys, you already know what it is. It is OUT.
Something happened this weekend, and I've been struggling with it since I retired, but this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and being involved.
like I say this a lot, we're